He should not have been locked up for all this time. That has nothing to do with whether I think he's guilty, not guilty. He really shouldn't have. And the judge could have let him go, especially after the jury came back, knocked out the top counts, and really minimized this case. And then he should have been let out at least then. And for the judge to not do that, that tells me either he's being very performative or he's going to do everything in his power to give him the highest possible sentence range he can. And that probably scares your daughter and the rest of her defense team. And maybe it should.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have so many competing emotions on this because on one hand, Judge Subramanian issued an order and they had a hearing, I believe, 4 or 5 days ago, where he asked 5 questions. And he asked these 5 questions and had the colloquy with Alexandra Shapiro, who is the appellate lawyer who was actually in the trial handling this. Both she and His Honor are former Supreme Court clerks and some of the smartest people you'll ever watch in a courtroom. And he asked 5 questions about the constitutionality, basically, of the Mann Act provisions. And for those who don't know, the Mann Act is the transportation across state lines for purposes of prostitution, broadly speaking. But there was an argument that Sean did not have sex with the escorts, and he was clearly filming what was happening. And how is that any different, number one, than pornography? Number two, I always say, and there but for the grace of God walk I, how many times I'm up the road at Burbank Airport where I'm going today, flying to Vegas on a Friday afternoon. If you saw the crowd that was in the Burbank Airport flying across state lines to go have sex in Las Vegas, you could incarcerate the entire airport. But he asked these questions, which judges rarely do in a post-conviction Rule 29. Basically, what you're telling the judge is, once the prosecution rests, judge, there's not enough evidence. He had taken that under submission. One of the interesting things, and why I say I have mixed emotions, it hasn't been widely reported. His other previous criminal trial before this case, he waited until after that person was convicted. He vacated the conviction in that case and granted the Rule 29. He's in that same position potentially here. He did it a week before sentencing. He brought the lawyers and Sean into court. He asked the government these questions. The government is now asking for basically 11 years, about the same length of time that Sean was involved with Cassie.